morning everyone.
Good morning.
Welcome po sa DPWH Sorsogon 2nd, Payawing Gubat Sorsogon. Today is August 7, 2025. Scheduled for this opening bids is for the contract 25FL0112, construction of multi-purpose building at Barangay Carriedo, Gubat, Sorsogon, Barangay Carriedo, Gubat, Sorsogon. Present here today for this opening bids are the following: Bldg Jr., Back Chairman. Present. Erwin S. Ensenares, Back Member.
Present.
David Bldg, Back Vice Chairman. Present po. Juana C. Calagos, Back Member.
Present.
Rebecca H. Olvina, Back Secretariat.
Present.
Leonel Vicio, Back Secretariat.
Present.
Bernadette D. Laguna, Back Member. DPWH Member. Nathaniel D. Alegre, Back Secretariat. Ariel Pancho, Back Secretariat. Rebecca D. Nabaran, Back Secretariat. Ruby Pia, Back Secretariat. Marcel Isico, Back Secretariat. Christian E. Austria, MT. Kennedy Pinabaro, Back Secretariat. Mr. Chair, for today's opening bids, meron na po tayong forum and wala pong present na kontrako news.
And since the forum was declared, this bid opening is now called to order.
Proceed na po tayo sa opening bids for 25FL0112 with contract name construction of multi-purpose building at Barangay Carriedo, Gubat, Sorsogon. Location, Barangay Carriedo, Gubat, Sorsogon. Approved budget for the contract is 29,700,000 pesos only, with a contract duration of 176 calendar days. For this contract po, this back office received 14 bids manually and wala pong submit to our electronic submission. May request na back secretary to please retrieve the bids from the request. Mr. Chair, ito po kayo bids properly labeled, sealed, and signed. Prior po sa submission of bids, check na po ng box secretariat, properly labeled, sealed, at kailang bids. Ma-request the box secretariat to please open the bids. While they're opening the bids, I will read out the names of the contractors who submitted their bids for 25FL0112. First, we have Carriedo Construction, Bmore Construction and Supply, Bldg Construction and Supply, Marina Construction, Carriedo, Bristol Builders Incorporated, Iloilo City, Generous Builders and Supply, Green Heights Construction and Supply, RSHO Construction, Liquid Builders, Marawag City, Marawag City, SBM Builders, Iligan City, Yes Construction, Almandrax Construction and Supply, Brgy, Sorsogon. The Health Construction Services, Amon Rizal, Kaila Construction Supply, So meron lang po tayo 14 beers for 25FL0112. Mr. Chair, proceed na po tayo sa opening security at technical documents. While we're opening the technical documents, When it comes to backside of target, please simultaneously process the eligibility through our civil work application. Okay na po ba ang checklist natin po? Proceed na po tayo. First bidder, General Construction Services. Build-up certificate of registration. Bid securing declaration. Signed and authorized. Organizational chart for the contract. List of contractors key personnel for the contract. Signed. Supported by key personnel's affidavit or commitment to work on the contract. Signed and authorized. Nominated accredited project engineer. Aniceto Titan Jr. The report of rating, Department Order number 26. Aniceto. Carriedo. List of equipment owned or leased under purchase agreement pledged to the contract. Signed. Kasama na po ang laboratory equipment dito. With attached proof of ownership. Omnibus sworn statement. Signed and authorized. RSHO Construction. Bid securing declaration, signed and authorized. Build-up certificate of registration. Organizational chart for the contract. Statement of availability of key personnel, signed. List of contractors' key personnel to be assigned to the contract, signed. Supported by key personnel's affidavit of commitment to work on the contract, signed and authorized. They're accredited, nominated accredited project engineer. Mark Michael Kitain. List of equipment owned or leased or under purchase agreement pledged to the contract, signed. Supported by statement of availability of equipment. List of contractors' minimum material testing equipment to be assigned to the contract, signed. With attached proof of ownership. Omnibus sworn statement, signed and authorized, integrity declaration. Bristol Builders Incorporated. Bid securing declaration, signed and authorized. Build-up certificate of registration. Organizational chart for the contract. List of contractors' key personnel to be assigned to the contract, signed. Supported by key personnel's affidavit of commitment to work on the contract, signed and authorized. The accredited project engineer nominated for the contract is Michael James A. Ramos. List of contractors made construction and laboratory equipment units to be assigned to the contract, signed. statement of availability of omnibus sworn statement, signed and notarized. Authority of signing official, to Secretary Certificate, signed and notarized. Sa Marina Construction, Gubat, Bldg Certificate of Registration, bid securing declaration, signed and notarized. Organizational chart for the contract, signed. List of contractors, key personnel to be assigned to the contract, signed. The nominated accredited project engineer. Janardi A. Abelia. Si Edu A. Alarba. Statement of availability of major construction equipment, signed and notarized. List of contractors major construction and laboratory equipment units to be assigned to the contract, signed with attached proof of ownership of equipment. Omnibus sworn statement, signed and notarized. Magda Construction and Supply Incorporated. Bid securing declaration, signed and notarized. Organizational chart for the contract, signed. Statement of availability of key personnel, signed and notarized. List of contractors, key personnel for the contract, signed. With attached affidavit of commitment to work on the contract of key personnel, signed and notarized. The accredited project engineer nominated for the contract is Jonathan B. Manacho. Accredited. Statement of availability of major equipment, signed and notarized. List of contractors major construction and laboratory equipment needs to be assigned to the contract, signed with attached proof of ownership of equipment. Omnibus sworn statement, signed and notarized. Authority of signatory, ID. Next, Oriol Construction. Bid securing declaration, signed and notarized. Organizational chart for the contract. List of contractors, key personnel to be assigned to the contract, signed. With attached key personnel's affidavit of commitment to work on the contract, signed and notarized. Their nominated accredited project engineer is Apuli Ivan Vincent. List of contractors major construction and laboratory equipment units to be assigned to the contract, signed with attached proof of ownership of equipment. Statement of availability of equipment, signed and notarized. Omnibus sworn statement, signed and notarized. Compliance with DMI, affidavit of self-inspection, Bldg certificate of registration. Winmore Construction and Supply. Bid securing declaration, signed and notarized. Organizational chart for the contract. List of contractors, key personnel to be assigned to the contract with their qualification data, signed. Statement of availability of key personnel, signed. Supported by key personnel's affidavit of commitment to work on the contract, signed and notarized. Nominated accredited project engineer is Ken Lloyd Arnoco. Accredited. List of contractors major construction and laboratory equipment which were assigned to the contract. Signed with attached proof of ownership of equipment. Omnibus sworn statement. Signed and notarized. Compliance with DO9. Affidavit of site inspection. Integrity coverage. JPA Builders. Build security declaration. Signed and notarized. Organizational chart for the contract. List of contractors, key personnel to be assigned to the contract with their qualification data. Signed with attached statement of availability of key personnel, signed and notarized, and key personnel's affidavit of commitment to work on the contract, signed and notarized. The nominated accredited project engineer, Michael James A. Ramos. List of contractors major construction and laboratory equipment which to be assigned to the contract. Signed. With attached statement of availability of major construction equipment and proof of ownership of equipment. Omnibus sworn statement. Signed and notarized. Kaila Construction and Supply. Build securing declaration, signed and notarized. Organizational chart for the contract. List of contractors, key personnel to be assigned to the contract. Signed, supported by key personnel certificate of employment, signed and notarized. Nominated accredited project engineer, List of contractors major construction and laboratory equipment units to be assigned to the contract. Signed, supported by a statement of availability of major construction equipment, signed and notarized, and proof of ownership of equipment. Omnibus sworn statement, signed and notarized. Compliance with DO9. Dream Heights Construction and Supply. Jeffs. Bid securing declaration, signed and notarized. Organizational chart for the contract. List of contractors, key personnel to be assigned to the contract. Signed. With attached statement of availability of key personnel and key personnel's affidavit of commitment to work on the contract, signed and notarized. The nominated accredited project engineer is Dino G. Osino. List of contractors major construction and laboratory equipment units to be assigned to the contract. Signed, supported by a statement of availability of equipment. Signed, and proof of ownership of equipment. Omnibus sworn statement, signed and notarized. Affidavit of site inspection, compliance with DO9. SBN Builder. Bid securing declaration, signed and notarized. Organizational chart for the contract. List of contractors, key personnel to be assigned to the contract with their qualification data. Signed, supported by a statement of availability of key personnel and key personnel's affidavit of commitment to work on the contract. Signed and notarized. The nominated accredited project engineer is Rosel E. Delphine. Roseline. Accredited. Roseline. List of contractors major construction and laboratory equipment units to be assigned to the contract. Signed, supported by statement of availability of major construction equipment, signed and notarized, and proof of ownership of equipment. Omnibus sworn statement, signed and notarized. Next. Gemilus Builders and General Supply. Bid securing declaration, signed and notarized. Organizational chart for the contract. List of contractors' key personnel to be assigned to the contract with their qualification data, signed. Supported by key personnel's affidavit of commitment to work on the contract, signed and notarized. Their nominated accredited project engineer is Christian Paul C. Blanza. Blanza. B-L-A-Z-A. Blanza. Carriedo. List of contractors major construction and laboratory equipment units to be assigned to the contract. Signed, supported by proof of ownership of equipment. Omnibus sworn statement, signed and notarized. Compliance with U9, integrity pledge. Aladrax Construction and Supply. Bid securing declaration, signed and notarized. ISO certificate, organizational chart for the contract, signed. List of contractors' key personnel to be assigned to the contract, signed. Supported by a statement of availability of key personnel, signed. And key personnel's affidavit of commitment to work on the project. The nominated accredited project engineer is Jonathan D. San Juan. Do you want to eat? Accredited. List of contractors, major construction and laboratory equipment units to be assigned to the contract. Signed. Attached proof of ownership. Affidavit of site inspection, signed and notarized. Omnibus sworn statement, signed and notarized. Bid bulletin, DPWH. Jens Construction, Malik Albay. Bid securing declaration, signed and notarized. Organizational chart for the contract. List of contractors' key personnel to be assigned to the contract. Signed, supported by a certificate of employment of key personnel, signed and notarized. The nominated accredited project engineer is Carriedo, Jack, Yanni. List of equipment owned or leased or under purchase agreement, pledged to the contract, signed with attached proof of ownership of equipment. List of laboratory equipment units to be assigned to the contract with attached proof of ownership of equipment. Omnibus sworn statement, signed and notarized. Affidavit of site inspection, signed and notarized. Compliance with the online integrity pledge. Mr. Chair, I have here with me the results of the eligibility process for our civil work application. And upon careful evaluation, Mr. Chair, it was found that Bristol Builders Incorporated failed the NFCC requirement. NFCC is less than the ABC required. Mr. Chair, since we have no way of finding the values of outstanding work of the contractor, it will only be done through our civil work, CWA, which can monitor the values of outstanding work of contractors throughout the Philippines. I move to declare po Bristol Builders Incorporated ineligible to participate in this bidding of this contract.
I second the motion, Mr. President.
Cheese.
With the concurrence of back members present and after reviewing all the bids submitted for contract ID number 25FL0112, I hereby declare that out of 14 bidders, only 13 have passed the eligibility and technical requirements. And one bidder is ineligible due to insufficient NFCC less than the ABC. We will now proceed to the opening of the financial proposal.
Financial proposal, the air construction services. Bid form, summary bid prices, bill of quantities, bill estimate, summary bid prices, cash flow amount, $29,585,157 pesos, 37 centavos. Wala pong discount. RSHO Construction. Bid form, bill of quantities, summary bid prices, bill estimate, summary of bid prices, cash flow amount, 29,375,810 pesos and 28 centavos. None, wala pong discount. Next, we have Samarina Construction. Bid form, bill of quantities, summary bid prices, detailed estimate, summary bid prices, cash flow, amount, 29,399,123 pesos, 5 centavos. Okay? None, wala pong discount. Next, Magda Construction and Supply Incorporated. Bid form, bill of quantities, bill estimate, summary bid prices, summary of unit prices, cash flow in amount, 29,272,197 pesos and 57 centavos only. None, wala pong discount na offer. Next, Oriol Construction. Bid form. Bill of quantities. Summary bid prices. Detailed estimate. Summary of unit prices. Cash flow, the amount. Oriol. 29,402,550 pesos and 65 centavos. Only none, wala pong discount na offer. Binmore Construction and Supply. Bid for bill of quantities. Bill estimate. Summary of unit prices. Summary of unit prices. Cash flow the amount. 29,434,164 pesos and 19 centavos only. JTA Builders. Bid for bill of quantities. Bill estimate. Summary of unit prices. Summary of unit prices. Cash flow in the amount 29,406,343 pesos and 41 centavos only. Nine, wala pong discount na ako. 3, 4, 5. Kaila Construction Supply. Bid form. Bill of quantities. Summary of unit prices. Detailed estimate. Summary of unit prices. Cash flow. Bid amount. Original yung bid amount. $29,106,136 pesos and 89 centavos. Only less 0.5% from the original bill amount. 0.005. Next, Green Heights Construction Supply. Bid form. Bill of proposal. Bill of quantities. Detailed estimate. Summary of bid prices. Summary of unit prices. Cash flow. The amount. 29,443,111 pesos and 13 centavos. Okay? Wala pong discount offer. SBM Builder. Bid for bill of quantities. Detailed estimate. Summary of unit prices. Summary of unit prices. Cash flow. The amount. 29,420,782 pesos and 26 centavos. Okay? Wala pong discount na offer. Generous Builders and General Supply. Bid for summary bid prices. Bill of quantities. Detailed estimate. Summary bid prices. Cash flow bill amount. 29,122,202 pesos and 57 centavos. Okay? None, wala pong discount po. Aladrax Construction and Supply. Bid form. Summary bid prices. Bill of quantities. Bill estimate, summary with prices, cash flow with amount 29,580,000 pesos only, none, wala pong discount na offer. Jens Construction, bid for, bill of quantities, summary of prices, cash flow with amount, Jens Construction, 29,487,423 pesos and 42 centavos only, wala pong discount na offer. Mr. Chair, we have finished covering the lead scheduled for today.
Reminders. Also, the documents will undergo evaluation. The hope reserves the right to reject any and all bids, declare a failure of bidding, or not award the contract in situations under Section 41, Implementing Rules and Regulations of the Republic Act 9184. For the compliance under Section 32, the Implementing Rules and Regulations of the Republic Act 9184, members of the bucket, staff and personnel, Secretariat and DPWH as well as observers, are prohibited from making or accepting any communication with any bidder regarding the evaluation of their bids until the issuance of the notice of award. However, the BAC Police Secretariat may ask in writing the bidder for a clarification of its bid. All responses to request for clarification should be made in writing. Meron pa po bang tanong? Since we have no more matters to discuss, this bid